Hi, welcome to the Diane Ingram Show. I'm your host, Diane Ingram. Today I'm going to be coaching Joan Baird, energy healer. Joan was on the show last time and she's cleaned up her closet. And this last time she talked about wanting to create a brochure and flyers and maybe even design weekend retreats for her energy healing business. She also talked about bringing in a handyman to help her do some things around the house to get her house prepared to bring people in for her energy healing business as well as her weekend retreats. So stay tuned and we'll see what's up with Joan about that. When you have a business, your own business, there's so many things to take care of. You need to wear so many different hats. She's a great energy healer. And there's these other things she has to learn how to do, as with all of us business people. She needs to learn how to use the computer proficiently enough to create her own brochures. She has to figure out how to organize her home in order to be appropriate and work out for people to come in for her retreats. She needs to figure out how to market herself. There's a whole support network of people who can help us when we're starting our own business and getting the things in place that we need to. There's also a lot of people out there who charge a lot of money to learn those things. So it's really important when you're starting your own business to be really discriminating about what's worth investing in and what's something you can learn on your own or that you can learn from friends or other colleagues who have done it before and are willing to share with it. As you'll see, I talked to Joan about going over and helping her learn a little bit more how to use Microsoft Word and create her brochures. I'm happy to do that. Joan has gotten me started with this TV show. So we can help each other in various ways that we don't have to invest a lot of money. So stay tuned. We'll see what's up with Joan and how she did over this past month. Hi, I'm Diane Ingram, your host. And today I'm with Joan Baird, licensed social worker and healer, energy healer. It's nice to be with you again, Joan.
It's great to see you, Diane.
Yeah, so last time we were together, you said that you wanted to work on creating a brochure and a flyer for your healing business. You also said that you wanted to bring in a carpenter to do some house repairs in your home. So I'm wondering how those things went for you.
Well, Diane, I've been thinking about coming back and speaking with you, and I was hoping to come back with all kinds of wonderful results and positive energy, and what I've brought back is a lot of obstacles.
Okay, that's helpful for people.
Well, I hope so.
So let's talk about those obstacles. What came up for you?
Well, one of the first things I wanted to do was to get my house in order, in good repair, looking towards the retreat that I was going to be offering.
Oh yes, I didn't mention that. That was another thing that you had talked about, a weekend retreat.
Weekend retreat, working towards that in the spring. So I found a carpenter to come in and fix some windows and doors and do some other work that I would need to have completed. And he's a wonderful guy, and he's worked for me before, and I had great expectations and a very long list for him. But we started in small pieces. He started, I would say, about 8 weeks ago, and we're not done yet. He's a lovely guy, but things keep happening, and he keeps not showing up and calling and apologizing and promising he'll be back. The work is half done, but no one else could come in and finish. They don't like to come back and finish it. I've tried being stern with him, and he's so apologetic. Of course, I feel terribly guilty of how could I be so stern. I've tried calling the person that referred him to me, and he has also tried to encourage this fellow to finish up, but it has not been successful. At this point, I'm just taking it all with a sense of humor. Like, I wonder if he'll come this week. Maybe yes, maybe no. Maybe I'll bet on it, you know. I've given up being angry. I've given up being frustrated. At this point, I know it will get done. He's got good energy. He's a very nice person, but I wouldn't look for him on Angie's list. So hopefully it will get finished up.
So what do you think is going on there? Does it seem like he just is having a string of tough personal issues, or is he a procrastinator, or do you have any idea?
I think it's a little of both. One, I know his sister was injured in a car accident, and he has been caring for her kids because she has no one else to take care of them. Another one was his best friend's brother was killed in an automobile accident. And I know it's true because I know the people involved. And he not only was supporting his friend, but he was very broken up about it. Other things were the materials didn't come in on time. The materials that came in were inferior. He miscalculated a couple of times. So it's been a number of issues coming up.
And how has that left you feeling?
Right now, I just giggle. You know, what is it going to be next? I try to think, what could it be? You know, and then when he calls to say, you were right. You know?
Yeah.
So it's going to take time. It's going to take time.
So you feel like you can't stop working with him and bring someone else in?
The problem is he's like half done with certain jobs, and people don't like to come in and finish up somebody else's work. So I don't think I could call somebody else in. The rest of the list that he didn't start, I will not have him do.
Yeah, I was going to say, did you change the way that you're working with him and like maybe having him finish one project at a time and not proceed on anything new?
Yes. Well, he's in the middle of several.
Okay.
That's how he works. A little here, a little there. Yeah. So as soon as he's done with that, we're done.
And do you have any other prospects of who you might bring in to help?
Yes, I do.
Okay,
I
wonderful.
do.
Okay.
But I want this guy out before the other guy comes in.
Yes, you know, this is a classic story of people not showing up when they say they're going to show up, and it's very frustrating for those of us who are trying to employ people and give them work as well as get our work done. So it's, I hear your pain.
Yeah, yeah.
And has that held you back in the other areas that you wanted to move forward in, or were there other obstacles that came up for you?
There were some other obstacles. I was engaging my younger son, who is a photographer, to help me with the brochure and to help me with the, I want a new flyer. And he did come, and I had reminded him ahead of time to bring his cameras, bring his equipment. And he's from Boston, so he can't just go home and pick up stuff. And he had forgotten most of his lights. So he did take some pictures for me, and then was going to get the pictures back to me, but has not followed through. And I've been emailing and calling him, and which is typical for him not to get a response until I send the email that says, "Are you still alive?" Then he might email back.
He's young, right?
Yeah, he's young, early 20s. Yeah, and he works full time, and he's applying to grad school, and he's doing his photography. So he has a lot going for him at this point. So I'm disappointed in that also, which has held me back on getting the flyer and the brochure together. I've got most of the text pretty much written out. My son did show me how to use Word on the computer, which I am not a computer person. I wrote down step by step exactly how to do it, and I still can't do it.
I'd be happy to come over. I know I've offered, I haven't gotten there yet, so call on me. I'd be happy to come over and show you how to do that.
That would be wonderful.
But I'm wondering what you had to call on within yourself when you had this, your son kind of not following through as he said he would, and this handyman not following through. First off, what feelings came up around that, and what did you do with those feelings, and then where did that take you?
Well, the first feeling that came up is, well, if you want something done, you do it yourself kind of thing, which I always have trouble reaching out for help. So this kind of just brought me back into that whole, you see, you can't get it done right.
So it kind of reinforced not asking for help
not
for you,
asking
maybe.
for help.
Right.
And then I got kind of depressed, and then I thought, well, maybe it's a sign I shouldn't be proceeding in this direction. So I took it to meditation, and what I kept getting was that I need to slow down, that I'm so demanding of myself that these other people are just part of the energy giving me the message that I have to slow down a bit before I can move forward. It brought up my issues with patience, with being kind to myself. I mean, I can say to this guy, oh, I understand, but meanwhile, I could never do that to myself. You didn't do this on time. What's the matter with you? You've got to work harder.
Yeah.
And just wear myself out and leak out energy all over the place.
Right. Wow, that's quite a discovery. So you can be patient with other people, but not with yourself so much. So what do you think shifts when you shift to yourself?
I guess I just expect so much more of myself than I do of normal human beings.
And how's that leave you feeling?
It usually leaves me feeling exhausted. It really does. What I did do was I took 10 days off from both of my jobs. And during that period, I tried to be and not do. And it was wonderful. I didn't have any expectations for myself. I didn't have a schedule for myself, a timetable. I always have a list, my to-do list. I always have it, and then I carry it over from one day to the next, and I add to it. I had nothing for myself. And it was wonderful. If I felt like going for a walk, I'd go for a walk. If I felt like eating, I'd eat. If I felt like I didn't want to eat, I didn't bother cooking. I did get in touch with a number of friends, reconnected with old friends, and it was so nourishing to be back in connection with them.
Wow, so that sounds like quite a gift you gave yourself.
I did.
Yeah.
I did. But I had to be pushed to the point of I can't go any further with these obstacles, which then allowed me to open to something better.
So one of the things you said is you went into meditation.
Yeah.
And you checked in with yourself and you said, what is going on here? And it sounds like you asked that question in a deep way and you got answers from your inner wisdom, from spirit, your connection with yourself, it seems like. Is that right?
That's correct.
Yeah. So important for us to check in with ourselves. Because we often, when we come up with obstacles, we tend to try to plow through them and just keep pushing and pushing, and we get exhausted and we're frustrated, and we're in such a state that we can't even think clearly anymore.
Exactly.
So by taking the time to stop and be with yourself and say, okay, connect with your sense of spirit and with your own inner wisdom, say, okay, what's going on here? What do I need? And what you came up with was, I need a break.
Yes.
I'm pushing too hard.
Yes.
And so you gave yourself a break in a big way, 10 days of just being and getting in touch with yourself and being in touch with friends and being nourished.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So beautiful. Now I'm wondering if that has affected the way you are going to be with yourself in the future as far as expectations.
Well, for one thing, I've cut back 5 hours on one of my jobs per week. And I had decided that, well, I'm going to use this time to do X, Y, and Z. And during the time I was off, I went to my yoga studio, which I never usually get to that particular class because I'm always working. And it's a therapeutic class where we work very slowly and very deeply. And I said to myself, that's what I'm doing when I'm not going to be working Tuesday morning. I am going to give myself that time.
Wonderful.
To go within and to work with that teacher in that class.
Wonderful. So another piece of nourishment for yourself.
Yes.
So it sounds like you're rebalancing
Mm-hmm.
kind of that to-do list and being, like, I got to get this done, and having this expectation of accomplishment for yourself with nourishing yourself or nurturing yourself and bringing in more of that being.
Yes.
The doing and being, that's the balance always, to strike the right balance for ourselves.
Yes.
So very nice, very nice. So do you feel like you could be easier on yourself now that you see the value, you see the downside of pushing yourself and how it exhausts yourself, became very aware of that, and how important it is to go a little easier and bring some of those more nourishing things in.
Well, what I've also, it's been coming to me in meditation, that's what usually happens, or a dream, that by July I want to cut back even more from my first job.
Wow.
And I think I'll be able to do it because what's happened is I had asked for more healing patients. Well, what has happened is I've been getting more private clients that I see in the community. I've gotten 2 more since I took that week off.
Right.
So I think I will be able to cut back on the first job, which I enjoy, but I think it's coming to an end.
Okay.
So yes, it's had a big effect on me.
Wonderful.
These obstacles really have.
Wonderful. So you said you would like to come back on the show.
Yes.
And I'm wondering what you're willing to commit to between now and the next time we meet. And it doesn't have to be something on the to-do list.
Okay.
It can be spending more time being.
I think that's what I need to do.
All right.
And I think that directly leads into my idea about opening a retreat in my house. If I'm not on retreat myself, what can I bring to another person who's looking for that space of stress-free introspection and nourishment?
Wonderful insight, Joan. So what would you like to commit to between now and the next time we meet?
I would like to commit to attending that therapeutic yoga class on a weekly basis.
Okay.
I would like to commit to getting that flyer and brochure done.
Okay. Is that?
I think I can do that.
Okay.
With your help with Word.
Okay, yes, I certainly will. Yes, okay, so flyer and brochure done.
And I will pray very hard that this guy finishes up the work on my house and have the other person come in and do the rest of what I need done. Not a whole lot.
Okay. Wonderful. Well, it's been a pleasure being with you, as always. I'm glad you could come back on. I look forward to hearing how this goes for you.
Thank you,
Good
Diane.
job taking care of yourself. Take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Welcome back. What I'd like to talk about in this segment are some of the tools that you need when you're running your own business. I brought some of the things that I've created here, and I want to show you what I've come up with, and hopefully you can learn from that. One of the first things that I did was I created this brochure. It's a flat one-sheet, they call it sometimes. So rather than put a lot of money into creating content, sending it away, getting it printed up, coming back with, I don't know, 3,000 to sit in the corner and haunt me, I actually created it in Microsoft Word. I had this banner made by someone, and I just imported that, brought that in, as well as a picture of my book that I've written. And I spent some time learning how to format and change fonts and sizes and italics and all those things to make it as interesting as I could. And I created this brochure. And what I do is I print off as many as I need for a particular event that I'm going to hand out. And what's nice about having it on my own computer is that as things change, I have some testimonials included here. If I get a new testimonial that's really powerful and I want to put that in and take that one out, I don't have to throw out the brochures that I've printed up. I just cut and paste, and there you go. It's updated. Or as I go along, you know, I've changed some of my bio over here. Some things have been added in, including this TV show. And so I can update it very easily and with very little expense. I have a color printer, so that helps me, but you can take it to any Staples or any store and get it printed easily enough. So that's one of the things I created. As time went on, I discovered one of the things that are popular now are called rack cards. And what's nice is they fit in these nice plastic holders, and you can buy those at Staples. And you can put these, they don't take up much space, and you can put these at various places around stores, wherever they have brochures. What's nice about a rack card is that it's one single card. People can actually use it for a bookmark if they want. I'm hoping that they're repurposing them and saying, ooh, this is a nice thing to hold my place in a book. And oh, by the way, there's Diane's information in case I want to reach out to her. It's also got space on the back. In this case, I've added my diamond heart, which is a logo I like to use, as well as a question. What one thing are you willing to do today that would take you a step closer towards living a more meaningful, purposeful life? That's kind of the thrust of my business, working with people as a coach and as a speaker, as an author, and as a songwriter. So there it is, as well as my contact information. I also have at the bottom, call for a free consultation. So all the information that anybody needs to reach me is on here. So that's really a handy item. Also, we need business cards. What I have done, the place I've created both the rack card and the business card, as well as the postcard, is Vistaprint. And Vista actually will give you business cards for free. In this case, because I wanted my own logo, once again, I have it, I just imported it, I sized it up, and voila. So I paid for my cards, but it's reasonably inexpensive. And now they keep sending me discount coupons to apply to my next order. So it's become very inexpensive. I also have a back. You can do a front and a back. And it's really fun to take the time and kind of find out what it is you want to have on the front of your card, all my information, contact information, and on the back some information about transform obstacles and fear into confidence, lack of focus into a clearly defined purpose, feeling stuck and procrastinating into action, life from problems to be solved to a rich adventure. And once again, coaching sessions in person or by phone. So all the information is there for people to contact me and also to understand how I work. So this is a business card is so important. And I also have these in every coat pocket I have, in my purse, in my bag, so that I'm never without a card. Because you never know when you're going to run into somebody and they're going to say, well, how do I contact you? You have a business card? And you want to always be able to say, yes, here it is. Another thing I created, I occasionally work wellness fairs and also when I speak. And so I created this pad of, which is easy enough to do. This I had done at a printer because I wasn't sure how to do this online, but I'm sure you can. And this is, it says, I'm interested in coaching to explore, and it's got places to check off. It says, if you checked any of the above, please leave your name and number, and I'll call you to set up a meeting for a free hour of coaching experience. And then you put the information there. So this is a handy way, if you do free consultations, to let people know how to contact you and actually to give them your contact information. Another item I created for my last speaking engagement when I spoke at a college was this handy-dandy little postcard. And it's a lot like the rack card in that hopefully people will use it for a bookmark. And on the back of here, I had the topic of my talk, which is 10 steps to achieving goals and realizing dreams, and it goes into that. And once again, I did all this on Vistaprint, so it's a handsome little card, didn't cost that much. So these are all ways that you can market your business and create pieces without having to go to a printer and pay, hundreds, thousands of dollars. It's all things you can do yourself, and you have creative control because if there's anything you want to change on it, if your phone number changes, you don't have to have that nasty looking business card that you've scribbled out your phone number and handwritten in a new one. You just update it and contact Vistaprint and have them send you some more. So I hope that's helpful to help you get started on creating your materials for your business. So thank you for tuning in today. Today we heard that Joan came up against some obstacles. Obstacles are okay, they're going to happen. What do they say? 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Obstacles are opportunities for us to learn. We often think that mistakes and obstacles mean that we are incompetent or that somehow we've done something wrong. Mistakes happen. Obstacles happen. It's a place for us to notice, what is coming up? What is the obstacle? Is it something that's happening outside of me? Is there a different choice I can make to avoid this next time? Or is this something internal going on that I need to explore and heal, a part of me that's tripping me up? So we'll see what happens with Joan next time. And I want you to notice in your life when obstacles come up. Pay attention to them. Inquire about them. Where is this coming from? Is this something I've seen in my life that's happened before? And how can I heal this part of me so that I can move forward and create the life I want to be living? Email me. Let me know what you find out about yourself. It's all learning. And it's all learning that if we share it with each other, we're going to all learn from it. Thank you for tuning in. And remember, it's about living life on purpose, living your passion, living a fulfilled life, and doing it now. I look forward to seeing you next month. Thank you.